renewal of mind and reconfiguration of our thoughts that we are able to position ourselves to receive all the blessings that God has set aside for us. For it is not us who are waiting for the blessing, but rather the blessing that is waiting for us to be in the right frame of mind to receive it. I hear a clarion call. It's time to rise and shine. Time to get what's mine. Yeah.
Dai family, and welcome to another episode of Ask a Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray, family, that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life in your own terms, in your own reality, family, because the Babylon matrix is gone, and they're not going to tell you it's gone. They're not going to tell you it's disintegrating because they're constantly trying to repair it and keep people on board and, threaten people and everything. And it's crazy because a friend of mine sent me this show, or was it a show or something, where this guy, I think he's been banned on TikTok, those ones, those free thinkers, free speakers. And he was talking about how they're planning the next pandemic for 2025, and it's going to be like this, and it's going to be like that. And they're saying that now they can predict what's coming in the future because they're using psychic or predictive kind of programming because they've seen how the new earth and, the so-called conspiracy theories are always bailing them up, but they've come and said it. That's what they're doing. And it's because now, family, we've moved into a new reality where your thoughts now, purely your thoughts and your emotions are manifesting your experience. Before, that's how the world works. But before, there was so much interference where we couldn't be individuals. As much as they promoted individuality in the Babylon system, we couldn't be individuals. And we were governed so much by the consensus reality. And, the group think, but the group think has now disintegrated. Because it turns out that the conspiracy theorists of yesterday are looking like the prophets of today, family. And now that alternative community that, that is spiritually deep, spiritually evolved, that sees beyond the matrix, that sees beyond the agenda of Babylon, that can tell this, oh, this is what they're doing, this is what they're doing. We're gaining momentum. And the thing is, for Babylon to run their matrix, they need billions of, robotic slaves. But for us chosen ones to change the world, we only require a few on a certain vibe. And that's the difference, family. We don't need everybody, but we sure do need somebody. And, with this thing of now in this reality, they have to announce, they have to make known things that they would have wanted to hide. And what they've done, and this is all related to Rihanna, by the way. I'm getting into why did they show Rihanna at the Super Bowl pregnant as all hell in red? It was a ritual and all these things. We've known that the Super Bowl and all these and the freaking Oscars and all that nonsense and the Met Galas are all rituals. But this was a really heavy ritual because I think the Super Bowl is one of the final strongholds that they still have on the group consciousness. And the whole thing with Rihanna was such a big ritual. There's something that they are supposed to be telling the world that they are not. And they try to do it subtly by releasing this, by having Rihanna perform and then having the bots. Because family, they create everything. And then they created this momentum. I mean, who watches the Super Bowl in Kenya? For real. It's maybe a dozen people who lived in the divided states before. But Rihanna, ASAP Rocky, blah, 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 pregnant, were trending even in Kenya. They're controlling global trends in an attempt to use the energy and the curiosity energy of the people to manifest their reality. They don't have the power to do it anymore. And they're not controlling people through fear or all that nonsense. And I know you've seen, family, and I'm going to do a separate show on this, the so-called alien invasion, where they're saying that the U.S. Shot down some, alien crafts over some, is it River Huron or Lake or whatever, Heron or something like that. I'm going to do a separate show on that because that's also a whole other predictive programming that they're trying to implant into the system, and it's not going to work. Because the mothership's been here, and the motherships aren't what they're thinking, like a little ship that they can just, this is an ET. A mothership can be an entire world. Some are even bigger than the world itself. Some are even bigger than the sun. So anyway, let me not get into that story. But before I even get into that, of course, a special shout out to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform. If you want to receive exclusive content, or if you want to see the shows ahead of time, definitely consider supporting us on that platform for as little as $2 a month. We are also going to be adding extra, programming, family. We're in a brand new environment called the Private Collective, which is housing the Dr. Mumbi Retreat Center. So we'll be sharing much more of that, and we'll probably be doing it on Patreon first. So definitely consider supporting us there and being part of that community. We've also launched our recent single, which is part of the theme song of this, Change My Mind. That's what it's all about. And definitely consider even supporting by purchasing the single or sending us a donation through PayPal. All the links are down below. So family, why did Rihanna show up pregnant at the Super Bowl? The long and short of it is because the mother energy is back. The mother energy is back. The mothership is back. The great mother is back. And she is fertile, and she is pregnant, and she is getting ready to birth a new reality. And if we were in a world where people were not trying to control others, there would be no fake, because they tried to use that mother energy that is now coming in to like harvest it through Rihanna, like focusing, because they almost like transformed her into a so-called goddess for that night. Because she's a star, these are the fake gods and goddesses that they've created, the great Sekhmets and Hathors and Anubis of the past family are now being faked around by the Rihannas of this world, who are the pettiest gods that people worship. But it was literally a worship, because so many millions and millions of people tuned in, and they watched her pregnant, wearing all red. I mean, can't you see it, family? I didn't even watch the whole thing. I just saw I just saw pictures here and there. Of course, it came on my YouTube feed, and I clicked it in, whatever. So I was like, but I did see the photos of her in red and coming down. And the funny thing is, family, a lot of people were like, oh my God, ASAP Rocky, we're not gonna get an album from Rihanna. Like, such low level. These are the bots. Who actually thought that was entertainment, and she's announcing she's pregnant. Most of you probably missed that a couple of weeks ago, Rihanna and ASAP Rocky, they had refused to show the face of their son, and they wanted to keep it away from the public eye and all this stuff. And they were literally told by their handlers, release a picture of your son, which is why they now had, I think over Christmas, they showed pictures of the son and being held by ASAP and all this stuff on the beach, all this stuff. The reason I'm even sharing this is because they're creating the fake gods and goddesses, but they have no idea what they're messing with, family. Because when you encounter a real goddess, you look at like Rihu, all you can do is sing about sex. I mean, come on, why are people worshiping? Why do people even care? And this is how they've harvested the energy for so long, by treating us like we're stupid and we're dumb. They did a massive ritual for Nibiru, if you want to even call it that, the red planet. But it was basically for the goddess energy, for the mother that is back, and for the mothership, the mother of mothers, that is also already in our atmosphere, family. They're not controlling what's happening. Decisions have already made. The matrix is dying down. A new earth is being born. We're just called to make sure we're securely planted in the new earth. Make sure we've got ourselves together. That's all we need to worry about. Any activism work, that's done and dusted. If people are, now everyone is responsible for their own energy. Everyone is responsible for their own thinking. We've moved beyond waking people up. If you're not awake by now, you're probably not going to wake up. If you fell for the Rihanna BS, then you're probably going to stay in the 3D world. And that's probably where you're comfortable, because the 5D is a whole other level, and you have to, it's a more sophisticated world. And what I see with these Super Bowl performances is like they're targeting people who are not spiritually sophisticated. So they were trying to announce the arrival of the goddess in their own way and hijack the process of her arrival, or hijack her announcement and try and siphon that energy and keep people on this okie doke, like its life is normal, its business is normal. And they tried to harvest energy, because you see, what Babylon has been promoting ever since is the false feminine. And they have wanted to create and make a goddess out of the distorted feminine, the low vibrational feminine, the feminine who is a witch behind, a witch in the closet, who dabbles in all kinds of things, the one who's broken, the one who's narcissistic, and, the one who's destructive. Because you see, women, we're destroyers and creators at the same time, because we have that creative power of giving birth to life, to reality, to existence. We also have the destructive power to destroy our own life, our own reality, our own existence, which is what Babylon is always trying to promote. So by putting Rihanna there, even in Red Family, was also trying to sacrifice the divine feminine energy, the goddess energy, the mother energy, because the great mother is here, family. The Queen of the South is here. The female Messiah, who was the ultimate Messiah that was written out. Oh, they'll tell you about Jesus, because Jesus wasn't the one that was really carrying the power. It was Mary Magdalene, but those are stories. Hey, those are stories for other days. So don't fall for the nonsense, family. Learn to decode, because if the mother is here, then that means the birthing process is beginning. And for her to even put her up pregnant, do you think, if she didn't already want to show the face of her baby, do you really think that she would want to do a live performance 6-7 months pregnant? And I mean, there are rumors. Is it even a baby bump, or is it all for, did she just wear those to, Beyonce style? Because there's an image, there's an energy they wanted to harvest. And the energy they were trying to harvest is the energy of the Great Mother, who is always depicted kind of pregnant with child, because she's always pregnant with creations. Don't fall for it, family. I mean, you shouldn't even be watching freaking Super Bowl, or the Super Bowl. I mean, already, if you're in the new earth, you didn't even watch that. But for you who tapped in, and I got a few emails, what do you think they were showing? People felt it was a ritual, of course, but they wanted me to decode. Yeah, they're announcing the arrival. And things are going to get increasingly more interesting from here on out, family. But those are stories for other days. If you'd like to support the channel and the message and enable us to continue to bring you the Wake Up Africa news, check out the links below. Tuko pamoja.
I hear a clarion call. It's time to rise and shine. Time to get what's mine. Yeah. And I want it all, beyond the riches of the world, to the promises of God for my life.